Welcome, everyone. I am so incredibly excited to guide you through an absolute game changer for early childhood math development today. We're diving into the Subitizing Tree app. More specifically, we're looking at how this tool fundamentally shifts the way our young learners build early numeracy fluency, especially in that critical 1 to 10 range.
I mean, we've all seen it, right? The classic finger counting traffic jam. You ask a student how many blocks are on the table, and they painstakingly touch every single one, sometimes losing track halfway through, having to start all over again. So, how do we actually break that habit? Well, today we are going to explore how this app basically rewires young minds to perceive quantities instantly, rather than falling back on that slow, one by one counting.
Okay, here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to define subitizing, explore the app's mechanics, break down the actual classroom benefits, and then wrap up with some actionable teaching strategies. So let's kick things off with section 1. Before we even touch the digital tools, what actually is subitizing?
It really comes down to this core difference. Counting one by one is slow and rote. It's like a snail pacing through a garden. But instantly recognizing groups, that is lightning fast and leads to a much deeper, fluent understanding. This perfectly illustrates the gap between the old, frustrating way of learning math and our ultimate goal for these kids. We want to permanently move them out of the slow lane and into instant recognition. So, simply put, subitizing is just that ability to instantly recognize the number of items in a group without counting them one by one. And the absolutely crucial point here is that this builds genuine number sense, not just rote memorization. Think about it. When you roll a standard die during a board game, you instantly know it's a 5 without counting every single dot, right? That is subitizing in action.
All right, moving on to section 2. Now that we know the goal, let's explore how the Subitize Tree app translates all of this into a really effective digital experience. Getting started is a total breeze. Kids can dive right into the action without needing you hovering over them to navigate menus. They just tap the tree icon, pick a difficulty, like medium or normal, and most importantly, set their range. They can practice random numbers 1 to 7 or push all the way up to 10. Oh, and if they already know how to play, they can literally just hit the star to skip the tutorial completely. The core gameplay loop here is so intuitive. They see a very quick arrangement of items, select the matching number, and then track their progress with a visual light bar. It's clean, it's totally distraction-free, and it keeps their brain hyper-focused on exactly what we want: rapid number recognition. Now, one of the most brilliant features, in my opinion, is how it handles mistakes using what I'd call no-stress correction. If a student picks the wrong number, there's no harsh buzzing sound or massive penalty to crush their confidence. Instead, the app just provides immediate feedback by showing the items again. It allows the student to calmly visualize the correct count, process the grouping, and try again on their own terms. It's a really safe learning environment. And, we have to keep them motivated. The overarching goal here is incredibly fun for them. Set the animals free. Once a student gets 4 correct answers and lights up all 4 dots on their progress bar, they release a super cute animal from the subitizing tree. By giving them this highly motivating task, the app keeps them completely engaged in the repetitive practice they actually need to build that visual recognition. Okay, section 3. How does this actually impact your classroom pedagogy? Let's talk numeracy benefits. I want you to imagine your math center running smoothly, completely on its own, while students actively build foundational math skills. I mean, that's the dream, right? It takes a foundational task that usually requires intensive one-on-one teacher intervention and completely turns it into an autonomous, self-correcting station. Basically, every mechanical feature of this app translates into a major pedagogical win, especially for mastering that 1 to 10 numeracy. The repetitive practice builds rapid fluency. The varied, visually diverse item arrangements teach kids to recognize complex structures rather than just, counting items in a boring straight line. Plus, that clear visual feedback supports true independent practice, genuinely freeing up your time, all while the animal narrative keeps them totally hooked. Let's pause for a second and really focus on the magic number here: 10. Getting students perfectly fluent in this specific 1 to 10 range is quite literally the ultimate building block for all their future math success. When a kid can instantly recognize groupings up to 10 without a second of hesitation, moving on to addition, subtraction, and eventually multiplication becomes so much easier, because they are manipulating groups of numbers in their working memory instead of laboriously counting physical objects.
Finally, let's wrap up with Section 4, some highly actionable strategies you can implement in your room right away. I've got 3 distinct pro tips for you to maximize this app's potential. First up, small group rotation. Use the app as a dedicated digital station during your math centers to reinforce number recognition while you work with other kids. Second, scaffolded learning. Don't just throw them in the deep end right away. Start them on lower ranges, like 1 to 5, to build confidence. Once they master that, bump it to random 1 to 7, and eventually up to that all-important 1 to 10 range. And third, use it as a discussion starter. After they play, simply ask them to verbalize the patterns they saw. It really solidifies that brain development.
When you use that discussion starter, you're really fishing for that magical light bulb moment where a student excitedly looks at you and says, "I saw 2 rows of 3, so I knew it was 6. That right there means the child isn't just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 anymore. They are seeing visual subsets, combining them instantly, and articulating their mathematical thinking. That is pure, fluent number sense in action.
Well, I hope this explainer has inspired you to rethink how we approach counting. I want to leave you with one final thought to consider for your own classroom. How will you use subitizing to unlock your students' early math potential? Whether you are redesigning your math centers tomorrow or you're just looking for a fresh way to help a struggling student master their 1 to 10 fluency, giving kids the ability to instantly perceive quantities is genuinely one of the most powerful tools you can hand them. Thank you so much for joining me today, and happy teaching.